Okay guys, now what I want to do is I want to show you how to create a blog post. So I'm going to come back to the home page here. And I'm going to come down here, and the blog post I want to show you how to create is this one. And it's going to be similar to this. So what we're going to do is, because I want to show you how to create it from scratch, I'm going to have to delete the post and the images and the category. So we'll come up here and we'll go to posts, all posts, and I'm going to delete it right here. So I'll trash it. Go to the trash, empty trash. And next I want to delete the category, which is social media. There we go. And we'll go to the media library. And I'm going to delete the image right here. Okay, go back to the dashboard. To create a new blog post, go down to posts and we'll click add new. And I'm going to get rid of this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to give our blog post a title. How to become a social media Jedi. Okay, we're going to come over here to the right, and under categories we're going to click add new category, and we're going to create a new category for this blog post. When you're done typing, click add new category. And you can see it added social media. Down at the bottom here, we're going to set a featured image. So we'll click set featured image. And we're going to come up to upload files, select files, and I'll go to my website folder here. Featured image, and here's my featured image. So I'll select it. And I'll hit the set featured image button. And here you can see it set to featured image. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to hit publish to publish this post. And now up here, if I click view post, I'm going to right click, open a new tab. And now we can see what it looks like so far. You can see here's our title. Here's my name because I'm the author of this post. The date it was published, our category. And of course there's 0 comments, and here's our featured image. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to come down here, and this is the visual editor. So whatever you type in here is going to show up on the front part of the page when you publish it. So what I'm going to do is I'll type Divi is awesome, and if I highlight it, I can make it bold. I can italicize it. And one more thing, if you come over here, this toolbar toggle, you click this, you have more options right down here. So I can even change the text color by hitting this button here, and it gives me a color palette. So let's say I want to make this text red. Now you can see it's red. And if I come over here and click the text tab, this is the text editor, and this shows you the HTML code for the text that we just created. But we're going to go back and use a visual editor because WordPress does all the work for you. And up here is the undo button. So if I click this, it'll undo the changes, and I can even go right back to the beginning. Okay. Now what I want to do is I'm going to type, this is a heading. And if I hit the enter key, it'll come down, and now I can create a new paragraph. And if I hit enter again, I can create another paragraph. Now if I hold in the shift key and hit enter, you can see it comes right underneath this line and there's no space. Just because it's going to create a new line instead of creating a new paragraph. And you can see both these lines are in the same paragraph. Now if I hit enter again, it'll create a new paragraph. Oops. Okay. Now, let's say I want to make this a heading. So I'll come up here, I'll highlight it, and if I come up to this drop-down menu, you can see it says heading 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 6. So I'll make this a 2 heading, and I'll tell you why. The reason I don't make it a heading 1 is because you only want one H1 heading on your page. You don't want more than one. And the reason is because if you put more than one H1 heading on your page, then Google will see that as you trying to over-optimize your page for SEO, and they'll actually rank your page lower because of that. If we come up here, anything you type in the title box here is going to be given an H1 tag. But that's only if you're using the standard editor. Divi does not automatically add H1 tags. So that's why when you write down here, you only want to give your headings down in the visual editor heading 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. Okay? Let's say I want to give this a heading. So I'll highlight that, heading 2, and what happens? This line also becomes a heading 2. And the reason is because this is the same paragraph. So if you give this line a heading, this line's also going to be given the same heading because it's in the same paragraph. So what we would have to do to fix this is come over here, backspace, hit enter, and now if I highlight this and change it back to paragraph, you can see this stays as a heading 2, but this becomes a paragraph line. So now what I want to do is I'm going to delete this, and I want to copy and paste a blog post that I had put together from public domain articles on the internet for the sake of this tutorial. So I'm going to go to Microsoft Word, I'll find my file here, go to my website folder, and blog page, blog post, here it is. And I'm going to copy and paste this into the visual editor. And I'll turn it off here. Click this off, right click and paste. And next what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here and click the update button because you want to save your changes frequently, and the way you do that is you update it. Just like if you were using any other text editor like Microsoft Word, you'd want to save your changes so that way if something happens you don't have to go all the way back and redo everything. So I'll click update, and I'll come up here and I'll refresh the page. And if I scroll down here, you can see this is the blog post that I had just pasted into the visual editor. And you can see it looks really boring. You could even say it's ugly. So what we're going to do is we're going to snazz it up a bit. We're going to add some images, and we'll highlight some text. We'll add a link, and I'll even show you how to monetize it. So we'll come back over here, back to the editor. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give these H2 headings. And I want to show you something here. You see the Shift Alt plus 2? This is called a keyboard shortcut. And what I can do is, if I come down here and highlight this one, I can hold Shift key, the Alt key, and hit the 2 key, and it'll become a heading 2, as you can see up here when I highlight it. And I'm just going to do that for all these. I always encourage you to memorize the keyboard shortcuts. It'll make your work a lot faster. And one more thing, these also have some keyboard shortcuts. You can see bold is Control plus B, and italicize is Control plus I, and the rest of these have keyboard shortcuts as well. So let's say I want to highlight a word in this article, and what we'll do is I'm going to highlight social structure, and I'm going to make it bold so that it stands out. And let's say I want to make it a different color. So I'll come up here to the text color menu. And I could make it red like we did before. You can see it's red. But let's say I want to make it a custom color. Let's say I don't like any of the colors in the color palette here. So I come down and I click custom. And now I can choose any color I want. I can slide this bar around and it changes the different color shades. And then I can come in here and choose a color. So I'm going to make this text an orange color. That looks good. When you're done, you click OK. And now you can see it's orange. And if I want to make another word the same orange, we'll say massive. Oops. I just highlight it and I just have to click the button. And now you can see it's orange as well. Now, let's say what I want to do is, let's say I want to add a link. So what I'll do is, I'll come down here and let's make this a link here, YouTube. So I'll highlight YouTube. I'll come up here and I can click this button, or as you can see, I can press Control+K. And then what I want to do is open a new tab. I'll just go to YouTube. And I'll copy the URL. Close this window. And I'll paste it in here. And now if I come over here to this gear icon and click it, it gives me some link options. What I want to do is I want this link to open in a new tab when it's clicked. And I could change the link text if I wanted to. I could call this YouTube videos. But I'll keep it as YouTube. Or I could have this link open up any of my other pages here. Blog page, the contact page. One of my blog posts would open up if you click it. So I'm going to update it. And now you can see it's a link color. And if I update the blog post here, come over here and refresh the page. You can see our orange text. It's bold. This is orange here. And if I click this link, it opens up in a new tab. So let's go back and what I want to do next is I want to make all these H2 titles blue. But I want the blue color to be consistent with our website color scheme. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here and right click, open link in new tab, and this will open the home page up. And I'm going to scroll down here to our team section. I'm going to open ColorZilla, and I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click on the blue social icon here, and it copies it to the clipboard. I'm going to close the home page, and I'm going to come up here to text color, come down and click custom, come over here and highlight this and paste. And I'll get rid of the hashtag because you can see there's a hashtag already here. And I'll click OK. And now if I come in here, you can see it added the blue color. This is your custom color palette. This is where all your custom colors will show up in this row here. So now all I have to do is highlight this and click the text color button, and it makes it blue. And I'll do that for the rest of these here. Perfect. Okay. Next one I want to do is I want to add a bullet list. Bullet lists are great for articles on the web because it allows your visitor to scan through important information very quickly since it's in a list. So there's two ways to do this. I want to make all these sentences here into a bullet list. The first way is I could come to the first sentence and place my cursor in front of it, come up here and click the bullet list key, and you can see it creates the first bullet. And then I could come down here to the second one, hit the backspace button, and then hit the enter button, and it creates the second bullet. There's a faster way to do this though. I'm going to undo the changes here. What I want to do is I'm going to highlight all the sentences that I want in the bullet list, come up here, and I'll hit the bullet to the list button, and there you go. They're all on the bullet list now. Next, I want to create a numbered list. So I'll come down here, and I want these two sentences here to be in a numbered list. So I'm going to place my cursor here, and I'm going to hit enter because I want my list down here. Come up to the numbered list button, and I'll press it, and you can see it creates the first number. Then I'll come over here, and I'll just hit enter, and now it's the second number in the list. And I want to get rid of these numbers that are in parentheses. And I'm going to capitalize these letters here. Now let's say I was writing a brand new article and these words weren't here, and I wanted to create the next line of text. I'll get rid of this first. There we go. And I came over here, and if I hit enter, you can see it creates the next number. But I don't want that because let's say I want to create the next line of text. I'm done with the numbered list. So what you do is come up here and just click it off, and then now I can write the next line. And you can see it's no longer in the numbered list. Okay. Next, what I want to do is I want to add a block quote. I want to have a quote from a famous person in this article, and I want it to be underneath the featured image, but before the introduction title. So I'll come over here, place my cursor, I'll hit enter, and then hit the up key. And you can see it's still heading 2. I want to change that to paragraph. And now I'm going to go get my quote. So I'll go to Google. And I want a quote from Mark Zuckerberg since this article is about social media and Facebook. And I think I'll use this one right here. So I'm going to highlight that, copy it, close this, come over here, right click, and I'll paste it. And if I highlight it here, you can see the italicized button is pressed because it's already italicized. And now what I'm going to do is click the block quote button, which is right here. And you can see it adds a nice little decorative blue line. Next one I want to do is I want to add Mark Zuckerberg's name so people know exactly who said this. But I don't want it to be part of the block quote. So I'll show you what I mean. If I hit enter and wrote his name here, this blue line would come all the way down here. I don't want that. So I'm going to leave the cursor there, turn off the block quote, and now what I'll do is I'll add a dash and then write Mark's name. And I want to put his name over here to the right side of the screen. So I'll highlight this and come up here and click the Align Right button. There we go. There's one quick way to see how your changes look, and this is a good way to look at your changes before you actually update the article. You come over here and you click the Preview Changes button, and it opens up a new tab. And now you can see the changes that I have made, what they look like on the page. Here's a block quote, Mark Zuckerberg's name. See the H2 titles are all blue. And down here is our bullet list. And here's our numbered list. And if you look up here, you can see it says preview. That's a good way to check out your changes before you actually update the page. So now I'm going to update the page because I like the changes. And if I come over here and refresh the page, we can see the changes have now taken effect. Okay, that looks a lot better than it did, but it's still missing something. And what it's missing are images. So what I'm going to do is come back here. I'm going to add some images. Images are nice because they make your article look more interesting. WordPress makes it really easy to add images to your blog post. All you do is put your cursor where you want your image to be, and then come up here and click Add Media. I'm going to click Upload Files, select Files, and I'm going to navigate to my website folder. And I'm going to choose this image here. And once it's uploaded, click Insert into Post. And here you can see my image. And if I click on it, and if I click on this pencil, this allows you to edit certain aspects of your image. So right here, I can add alternative text. And what alternative text does is, let's say for some reason my image does not load when the page loads, this alternative text will show up where the image would be. I can add a caption. Down here I can align it. I want to align it to the left. I want it to the left of my text. Down here I can change the size. If I wanted a thumbnail, you can see it shows up over here. Thumbnail size, full size, and you can even do a custom size. I could change it over here. But what I want to do is I'll keep it at medium, 300 by 200. Over here I could choose if I wanted to link it to a custom URL. I would put the URL here that I want the image to link to. Attachment page, I could link it to the actual media file in my media library. I'm going to leave it at none. And down here you also have some advanced options. So what I'm going to do once you're done, come down and click Update. And now you can see it's to the left of my text and there's a nice space here. And it added a caption. And now I'm going to add another image down here. And I'll add a space because this time I want my image to be between the lines. Come up here, click Add Media, Upload Files, select Files, and this time I'm going to choose this image. This time I'm going to make all my image edits over here, which is really convenient. I'm going to add the alt text right here. Down here I can control the alignment. This time I want it to be center aligned. I'm not going to link it to anything, but again, I could link it to a medium file, custom URL. And I could change the size. I'm going to leave it at 300 by 200. I could also add a caption here and a description. Once I'm done, I'll click Insert into Post. And this time you can see it aligned in the center. So let's go ahead and update the page. And I'm going to refresh the page here. And now you can see we have this nice image, have a nice space around it. We have a caption. It's aligned to the left. And down here we have our other image. It's aligned in the center. Looks really nice. That looks a whole lot better than it did before. It's still missing one thing, and that's monetization. If we're going to go through all the trouble of creating a blog post, we may as well get paid for it, right?